There are people who love movies, me included, you included, from our childhoods that maybe haven't aged so well, that maybe we're a little embarrassed to still like. For instance, I will add, Revenge of the Nerds doesn't hold up. That was rape. I can't cheer for a rapist.
Not the whole movie, just a particular scene in the movie.
There is a specific scene that is considered rape now.
Yeah.
Because in the 80s, it was hilarious.
It was the guy using a costume to pretend that he was a girl's boyfriend. I don't know how that made it in the movie, but they were fine with it.
Yep.
And then years and years later, 40 Days and 40 Nights had Josh Hartnett.
Josh Hartnett.
He is tied up, and his ex-girlfriend rapes him.
Yeah.
And he is made to be the bad guy in that.
It's messed up.
By the heroine of the story.
That is some toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
Masculinity.
So the depictions of sexual assault and things like that certainly don't hold up particularly well.
It's not good.
So I've put together a few specifics that I've noticed. Some of them I've found also on some of the materials you provided, but I had actually seen the movies recently and then thought about it. First of all, broad categories of things that can make movies not hold up well.
Hacking, computers.
Hacking is,
Hackers
I think,
and the net are crazy.
Anything about hacking or computers, really.
I'm in the mainframe.
Yeah.
I'm in.
They're getting a little bit better. I thought that Ocean's 8 had an okay depicting of hacking. It looked like code, at least. But some of them can be sort of charming. Like, I think that the computer scene in Jurassic Park is actually kind of cool. I know Unix. So that's perfectly fine. I don't have a problem with that. But usually, like in hackers,
you should be an actor.
And there was one episode of G.I. Joe back in the day. It's not a movie, but it's a show where they explain computer viruses, and then one of the viruses causes a computer to explode. Which I think is why most grandparents don't trust computers, actually.
That's gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's like when a car flies off a cliff and immediately explodes. In a huge, massive explosion.
I hope someday to have that happen, which is why I keep a lot of gasoline in my car in tubs.
Oh God, John, do you have a specific movie that
Yes,
really
I do have specific movies. So I personally loved this movie when I first saw it, but it's not that old. Dodgeball.
Really?
It's not fun. Like, Vince Vaughn is still okay, I think, and the supporting cast is pretty good. But the pirate, that's a terrible misuse of a good actor and a good comedian. And honestly, the villain, I don't think most of his jokes hold up at all.
Is it just the comedy style, or?
Yeah, it's just very cheap. It's not very clever comedy.
Oh, do you think there's like a lot of, like, let's say, body shaming in it because of the overweight aspect?
Yeah, probably. I mean, that's certainly part of it. But I would say I don't think that I'm blanking on his name now, the villain. But
Ben Stiller?
Ben Stiller, yeah, who I like, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't think he's given anything clever to say. And in a comedy, that's pretty important.
Maybe that's just a lazy comedy.
I thought it was a lazy comedy, but one that I actually really liked. To switch it up, one action movie that I found didn't hold up, even after just a few years. When I first saw Inception in movie theaters, I was blown away. And I watched it the second time. Like, I'm not burned out on it. I watched it like 2 years later. It's boring, it's slow, it's really slow. And once you've already seen the amazing things, look, Joseph Gordon-Levitt tumbling around fighting, I think was it Tom Hardy? He was fighting somebody. That was cool still, but the movie's really slow. It does not hold up to how amazing it was.
Maybe it's just because cinematic styles have changed.
It's pacing,
Not so much that, this is not good anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like it nearly enough.
What's on your tiny paper?
One movie that I guess maybe I shouldn't have had the first initial reaction I did. Well, I really love this movie. The drive home from the movie, we were talking about it for like an hour. Butterfly Effect.
I've never seen Butterfly Effect.
Okay, it's an Ashton Kutcher movie. I realize it's not amazing or whatever, but it's really cool and it makes you think about your life and the various ways that your life could have changed. And I watched it again a few years later, and I was like, man, this is as bad as I should have realized at first. Poor Ashton Kutcher. He tried his best.
You know what's not good is if you go back and watch Disney's earlier attempts at CGI, or Pixar too. The first Toy Story is hard to look at.
Yes, I noticed that recently.
Chicken Little by Disney is hard to look at, and it's terrible.
Yeah, I missed that one. But Toy Story does look like, you see Toy Story 3 and you think...
Toy Story 3 is amazing.
Yeah.
The textures.
But when I watched it, I thought, oh, this is what Toy Story movies look like. No, they got a lot better.
They got better with time. Technology improved.
Yeah, and honestly, anything that really relied on CGI is gonna have a rough time. Like people have pointed out, Spawn. I love Spawn because Spawn went to my high school. He's like the only famous person ever to come out of my high school. But man, that CGI sucks. Yeah, cool. Michael Jai White. But no, that was not good CGI.
All right, there's a lot of movies that don't hold up. Did you know that Nerd Alert is not just a show, it's a podcast? You can take entire episodes on the go and listen when you're driving, when you're doing your laundry, when you're cleaning your house, shaving your dog. I don't know. I don't care what you do with your life. Just have fun, and you can check it out at tyt.com/audio for Nerd Alert and all the other shows on the TYT Network.